October, posing as a refugee.
Okay, for now, Mark, thank you. Well, it's been reported tonight that, as Mark was saying there, at least one of the attackers was a Syrian passport holder who entered Europe through Greece, and that, we believe, was at the beginning of last month, the 3rd of October, as a refugee. Prosecutors also revealed that video footage from inside the Batlakan shows the terrorists invoking Syria and Iraq during their rampage. Similar thing happened here at the two restaurants to the north of the theatre. Our chief correspondent Stuart Ramsey reports now on the story of one man who looked into the eyes of one of the killers.
Another previously unknown crime scene location is opened up a mile or so from where the Friday night killings happened. Forensics officers are searching a flat opposite a bistro where more investigators are working inside. The authorities are searching for any clues to identify the gang that's caused mayhem in Paris once again. Mayhem and murder. Who are these men who carried out the attack? Survivors say they were a mix of races, North African and one a white European. Benoit Werner and his brother survived by begging for their lives.
There is one shooter behind him, and he asked me to close the door, and I say no because there is my brother. I try to suppress him, I can say that, or to make my hands like this and please no. And he said close the door, and he let my brother run and the other guy, and then we closed the door. And we know that the shooter is just behind the door, so we try to block the door. There is around 50 people there escape, not from a regular escape way, but from air-conditioned area. So,
but it is very interesting, and your brother says that this was a guy with blonde hair.
Yeah. Again, I haven't seen him, but my brother said that. That's why he stayed blocked there. And again, yeah, it's my brother's eyes. Of course, I trust him, but. Yeah, again, it's not my testimony. I cannot confirm that, but it seems that. And we also heard when we were hidden in the flat that people talk about and heard people say it's for our friends in Syria and so on.
Islamic State said it carried out this attack. France certainly believes so, but this attack has come as a massive shock here. Its sophistication astonishing experts.
This goes beyond what I was fearing before this happened. In France, we were expecting something fairly big. The background noise was getting very, very disturbing. But something as elaborate, as complex, as sophisticated as this, I certainly was not expecting, and I don't think many other people were either.
Should French intelligence have been better prepared? In August this year, Sky News revealed that IS was training foreign fighters to carry out attacks in their home European cities. This man, a former member of Islamic State's internal security, oversaw the men being trained. He said they had specific, potentially high-profile missions. The question is whether this was one of those missions that they were prepared for. Well, this was clearly a sophisticated and well-organised attack, but the biggest concern for the authorities is that nobody appeared to have any clue that it was about to take place, although there had been warnings of some type of attack, but nothing as big as this. Concern, of course, is that if it can happen this time, it can happen again, and not just here. The fear for the authorities, and indeed all of Paris and France, is that this isn't over yet. Are there more terror cells? If so, where are they? And can they be caught before another attack happens? Stuart Ramsey, Sky News, Paris.
This scene, two of the restaurants where so many people lost their lives, the Carillon behind me and also Le Petit Cambodge. What we want to do is try and fit that into a timeline for you and give you an idea of exactly what happened. The attacks began at about 9:20 local time when a gunman opened fire with an automatic weapon at the bar behind me before moving just across the road, only about 30 or 40 metres, to the Petit Cambodge restaurant where we've been showing you those flowers and candles tonight. Next, 5 people were killed at a pizzeria on Rue de la Fontaine de la Roye, and 1 person was killed on Boulevard Voltaire nearby. After that, at around the same time, there were multiple attacks on the Stade de France, killing 3 people there. Shortly after that, up to 18 people were killed at the Belle Equipe restaurant on the Rue de Charonne. After that, the deadliest attack took place at about 10 o'clock local time at the Bataclan Theatre, where up to 100 people lost their lives. Alongside the scale of these attacks, one of the greatest shocks has been the terrorist use of suicide bombers on mainland Europe for the first time. Robert Nisbet reports on a city and a country reeling from its worst ever peacetime terrorist atrocity.
The attacks are a challenge to the revolutionary principles of the Fourth Republic, carved in marble at the Place de République. In secular France, these 3 words inspire almost religious reverence.
Liberté, égalité, fraternité.
And as they did after the Charlie Hebdo attacks 10 months ago, they came here again today to defend those pillars of French democracy: liberty, equality and fraternity. 10-year-old Noemi taped her tribute to the statue.
Seeing what happened last night, the bombers hadn't really thought about France's motto. They completely ignored and disrespected the French motto.
In Noemi's young life, she's seen her city and country challenged many times by terrorism, most notably 10 months ago when the officers of the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo were raked with bullets, police officers murdered in the streets in the name of jihad. 17 died in those linked attacks, home-raised terrorists inspired by a war hundreds of miles away. Islamic State has its own word trinity, aiming to terrorize, mobilize and polarize. At the restaurants where 14 died, the echoes of the previous night are still being absorbed. Listen to the stunned silence here. But there's also a determination this mustn't be classed as a clash of cultures, that these violent nihilists aren't representatives of a religion, but murderers without a coherent creed.
It's not about the veil or the religious, we are beyond that. It's not about that. I think it's about, they just want us to be dead. No debate. Debate is with intelligent person or people who can understand. Honestly, can you think we can debate with the people who shot the guys on a cafe? There's no debate.
And this queue of people waiting to give blood, just meters where so much was spilt, is to those present the most eloquent rejection of the killer's aims.
That doesn't surprise me at all. There's a real happy solidarity among the donors, and in fact they come all year. Now there's more of them given what's happened, but that doesn't surprise me at all.
Terrorism tries to rip societies apart by creating tension where there was none. This mother was a regular at Le Carillon. She says efforts to make French society more equal must be redoubled.
There are too many people that don't feel in the society. They are placed out of the society because of many problems they have, and our work is to help these people to come back.
Another neighbour told us he saw people fall to the ground as though a switch in their backs had been flicked. He says they weren't combatants in any ideological conflict, their deaths merely senseless.
Charlie Hebdo did a thing. I don't think it was right to shoot at them, but I think they provoked it. But now nobody provoked them here in France. We didn't do anything. You know, they shoot people who didn't do anything.
The streets of Paris are noticeably quieter today. Galerie Lafayette, one of the city's most famous shops, is closed. These roads on a Saturday would normally be choked with traffic. Major landmarks were also closed, including the Eiffel Tower, where soldiers and armed police are again patrolling the site, where tourist queues usually snake.
social media as Je suis Charlie morphs into Je suis Paris, there is a reflective resilience in pockets around the city. As people